My name is A. Trey Goodman. I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. I'm going to go ahead and move this mic right now, and you're going to hear some of President Trump in Michigan. I like people like that. A lot of people, there are people throughout the country who say, well, Trump is not presidential. I'm tired of presidents who destroy countries and are then diplomatic. And I'm tired of politicians saying one thing and actually feeling or trying to hide the truth of their sentiment. I'm voting 100% for Trump 2020. The only two things that could take place is if he tried to make a move to, God forbid, either arrest Julian Assange or, something other than the ordinary that the American government does, which I'm against, regarding WikiLeaks. So, and I know a lot of people, there's a great many people who are voting Trump, that if Trump did anything similar to what Clinton would do against Julian Assange or WikiLeaks, or if if Trump entrenched Clinton, oh my God, if Trump got us entrenched into Syria or helped destroy a country like Libya, those are the only two things. If they truly went after WikiLeaks, as opposed to, Sessions saying that Sessions and Pompeo with the rhetoric, very dangerous. Clinton would be infinitely worse. If he acted like Clinton against Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, I would withdraw my support 100%. And if we got into a quagmire, a true quagmire, or if we destroyed a country like President Obama did in Libya. But this is President Trump, and this is just from actually somebody who hates Trump. Trump tells Michigan rally that Natalia Veselnitskaya is only claiming she's closely involved in the Russian government because Putin told her to do so, to get back at Trump for being so tough on Russia. I.e., he just said Veselnitskaya takes orders directly from Putin. OMG! OMG! Really? Then why did President Obama's Department of Justice give her a special visa? Or grant her a special visa? And why hasn't Mueller interviewed her after over 1 year? And oh, by the way, why did Fusion GPS meet before and after with Natalia Veselnitskaya? I wonder why. Very bizarre. But this is President Trump. You can't help but enjoy him. Even his detractors gravitate towards him because they find him as this anomaly. But you can't help but find the guy amusing. I'm Trump 2020 because, for a lot of reasons. Look, peace between North and South Korea is very important. Trump's diplomacy helped was part of the equation. This peace between North and South Korea, I don't believe happens with Clinton at all. She was talking about reining in China with missile defense. That's according to Clinton in one of her speeches. But here's Trump. Really interesting, kind of hilarious. It actually makes sense, too.
I guarantee you, I'm tougher on Russia. Nobody ever thought. In fact, have you heard about the lawyer? For a year, a woman lawyer, she was like, I know nothing, no. Now all of a sudden she supposedly is involved with government. You know why? If she did that, because Putin and the group said, this Trump is killing us. Why don't you say that you're involved with government so that we can go and make their life in the United States even more chaotic? Look at what's happened. Look at how these politicians have fallen for this junk. Russian collusion. Give me a break.
So that's just one example of, it's hilarious. So then, of course, you get the whole anti-Trump, different, oh my God, look what he said, but Trump's going to easily win in 2020 because people gravitate towards him, whether they dislike him or whether they like him. I'm voting for Trump 2020. I want everyone to share my latest Daily Caller article, Free Julian Assange. It is in the comments section below. Please go ahead and do that. But this segment is basically Trump is blasting Democrats, the media, and it's just hilarious. And he's right. I mean, where are you going to get... It's basically the media versus Trump, and Trump is the media in many ways. So, let's just see. Can we get any more? Okay, so... So why would you... The White House Correspondents' Dinner, they're making a big deal of this. Like, who cares? It's a stupid dinner with people like Jake Tapper, and it's all one club that doesn't care about you at all, or me. Doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. You think they care about Bernie Sanders? You think they care about if you're on the left? The White House, people at the White House Correspondents' Dinner view Bernie Sanders as an unrealistic threat that had to be defeated so Clinton could then lose, and then they could go ahead and further a nonsensical, irrational, unrealistic Russian hacking myth. DNC never gave its servers to the FBI or anyone else in the U.S. intelligence community. And by the way, James Clapper said he had no evidence. Oh, and by the way, Mueller hasn't even... Not only has he not interviewed Natalia Veselnitskaya, but he hasn't even found any evidence of Trump-Russia collusion after 1 year. How long does it take? You had the NSA, $10 billion budget, and they're only moderately confident. But here's Trump. Okay, here's Trump.
By the way, is this better than that phony Washington White House correspondence? Is this more fun? I could be up there tonight smiling like I love where they're hitting you shot after shot. These people, they hate your guts. Shot. And then I'm supposed to... And you gotta smile. And if you don't smile, they'll say, he was terrible, he couldn't take it. And if you do smile, they'll say, what was he smiling about? There's no way.
So, I mean, the guy, it's great. It's great. It's great. Everything would be worse. If you care about WikiLeaks, in my humble opinion, Clinton would be infinitely worse. Although I'm against what's going on in the U.S. government right now. I like I said, I would withdraw my support and just vote third party. I'd pick, some Green Party, whatever, just to disrupt the system. If he ever, God forbid, truly went after WikiLeaks or Julian Assange, I would withdraw my support. Who cares about my support? I'm like, who am I? I'm just, published 100 plus times in the Huffington Post, the Hill Salon, have this YouTube channel. I was on CNN, MSNBC, whatever. I'm a quote-unquote pundit. Okay, whatever. But I would withdraw my support if he truly went after WikiLeaks or Julian Assange and did what Clinton would have done. Or if he got into a quagmire. People say, oh, look what he did in Syria. Yeah. Who was pushing him? A week before, he said he was going to leave Syria. Now we have peace in the Korean Peninsula, hopefully. God bless the Korean people. You think that happens with Clinton? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. The same factors that kept Kim Jong-un belligerent would be the same factors that would continue to keep him belligerent. You think Obama or Clinton would have differed in their stance? It would have been this same type of tension without any breaking point or breakthrough to get Kim Jong-un to meet Moon Jae-in of South Korea. President Obama couldn't even... Well, he destroyed Libya, but he couldn't even He couldn't even sign a deal with Iran. Probably the worst nuclear deal, the worst arms treaty in the history of mankind. They have over 20, I think it's 23 ballistic missile tests. Are you kidding me? And they say, oh, the Iran deal is really good. Really? What's so good about it? Tell me what's so good about the Iran deal. Now, by the way, I love the Iranian people. I love Persian people. I love the people of Iran. But what's so good about the government of Iran being able to test their ballistic missiles over 20 times? I think it's 23 times. That's what we got after North Korea. They were testing ballistic missiles. So the delivery system, they're able to go ahead and further their delivery system for the nuclear weapon they're almost certainly working on right now. President Obama's administration was a failure in many, many, many ways. And this is somebody who voted for Obama twice. This is somebody who cried when Obama was elected. Okay, I am not the average person, or I am not a person who dislikes President Obama and always disliked him. No. President Obama's administration, in many ways, was not only a letdown, but engaged in the most ludicrous activities. Allowing Natalia Veselnitskaya, who is said to be this big Russian operative, into the country is probably a faux pas, you would say, or some kind of, I don't know, something that... All right. Okay, so Trump predicts GOP will keep control of House and Senate. GOP will keep control of the Senate. I'm on record as saying they'll keep control of the House. You have, let me tell you, if you have Trump campaigning, Trump is a fantastic campaigner. Look, Reagan, Clinton, Obama, and Trump are fantastic campaigners. Bush, the first one, not sure. The second Bush, baby Bush, who knows? I don't think he was a great campaigner. He won because of 9/11 the second time. And he won the first time because of Bill Clinton's, because Bill Clinton was a sexual predator. Or let's say Bill Clinton couldn't keep it in his pants until after the White House. Had he done so, Gore would have won. That's without a doubt. Trump predicts GOP will keep control of the House and Senate.
We will impeach him. Doesn't matter if you do anything right or wrong. They wanted to do that. We got to win the House. And you know what? We're going to win anyway. But we're going to win the House. We're going to win the House. Now, historically, when you win the president...
By the way, it's not with me, it's not so much about policies. Like, for example, I would love to have comprehensive immigration reform to give dreamers citizenship. I have friends who are dreamers, but Democrats don't care. These ridiculous pundits on YouTube or whatever, legacy media, whatever you want to call it, they're like, oh, well, Democrats are pushing for, they're protecting the rights of immigrants. Really? How many bills are out there in Congress right now to protect dreamers? It has to come through Congress, not an executive order. Executive orders have a time frame, and they could be overturned by Congress. They don't just go on forever. But I think that because the Democratic Party is so fractured and stands for nothing and so disingenuous and pushing a Trump-Russia myth and attacking people like Bernie Sanders, even though I'm voting for Trump no matter what, even if Bernie could become nominee, I would vote for Trump, primarily because I don't think, anyone the DNC in this format with Tom Perez and superdelegates, anybody they allow to become nominee will not be for the people at all. Trump is for the people. You can disagree with him, but steel tariffs help hundreds of thousands of workers throughout the Midwest. That's a fact. In the worst case scenario, you pay a cent more for a case of beer or a six-pack, like I think maximum 2 cents, maximum, or $100 for a car. It's not a big deal when you consider the steel industry is a strategic national security industry. The electric grid is also dependent upon the steel industry, and we don't need to rely on other countries for that. Not just the skins for the F-18s and F-22s, fighter jets that we have, bombers, whatever. Why would you turn your back on that industry? We can go on. If you listen to the steel CEOs, they're actually phenomenal. They explain why Trump's tariffs are pretty, logical. A lot of the things Trump does is very logical. They were interviewing Charles Schwab. I worked for Charles Schwab for a little while when I was younger, actually. And Charles Schwab is a Trump supporter. He was talking about how the tax cuts would help the economy, all this stuff. You could disagree with the tax cuts, yeah, sure. But a lot of the things Trump is doing, it's actually, if the economy is good, people would have no reason to just vote blue, especially since they don't stand for anything, or Democrat. And they're pushing the Trump-Russia myth. But let's just go on. Let's see what he says.
Presidency, the person that wins, the party that wins, does poorly in what they call the midterms. And the reason is, I guess, you take it easy a little bit, right? Something happens. I guess it's 93, 94% of the time. This is over a long period of time. I don't know what you get. You know what it is? You get complacent. We cannot be complacent.
No.
We got to go out, right? We got to go out. We got to go out, and we got to fight like hell, and we got to win the House, and we got to win the Senate. And I think we're going to do great in the Senate, and I think we're going to do great in the House, because the economy is so good.
You can't let the CNNs and the insane Adam Schiff type congressmen of the world or congresswomen of the women of the world, you can't let the Democratic Party take control of the House or the Senate. Because they'll go ahead and what they'll do is they'll just impeach Trump based on someone's recollection of something. James Comey, what Trump is doing goes beyond politics or policies. He is destroying and uncovering and destroying and exposing very corrupt officials at the FBI and in the intelligence community. You cannot have a country, a functioning democracy, when an outsourced dossier full of gossip undermines incoming elected presidential figures or whatever. I mean, if that's the case, then the 535 people in Congress, Senate, and House would then have to contend with opposition research dossiers against them. You cannot be fired because of gossip, and if you are, you sue. But now it's like, oh yeah, gossip, no problem. Oh, the dossier. Well, I'm James Comey. I'm just, That's another thing. When the IG report, it's game over. IG report comes out, it's on then. Then it's Kanye West gets it. Okay.
Kanye West gets it. He gets it. He gets it. And he saw that. When he sees that African American unemployment is the lowest in history, people are watching. That's a very important thing he's done for his legacy. It's a very important thing.
So that is a discussion right now. Basically, African Americans vote 90%. Jews for Democrats. Jews vote around 70%. Asian Americans vote around 70%. Latinos vote around 70%. So other minorities vote around 70%. The most loyal are black voters. But other minorities get more from the Democratic Party than black voters get. Unfortunately. That's unfortunately the reality. And I don't know why. I'm not going to speculate as to why Democrats don't put issues important to the black community at the forefront. But I can tell you what. In terms of demographics, Jewish voters, LGBT community, Latino voters. Well, Latinos are actually a huge demographic. So that in terms of that, Democrats, I can understand. But there are segments of the Democratic Party that actually get a lot more, even though there are a lot less in terms of demographics. There are fewer of them in terms of demographics than the black community. And without the black community, and without the loyalty of the black community, the Democratic National Committee is done. Toast. Nada. Nothing. It's destroyed and obliterated. So, now you have a discussion. And a discussion going on. And, this also goes beyond politics. It's good for any community to have... It's not good for any community to be 90% loyal to any political party. That's bad. It is just bad because then the party you're loyal to takes you for granted. You can't have that. You cannot have that. But anyway, Trump on Comey. I did a great favor. I did you a great favor when I fired this guy. I love this Trump. Isn't he great?
Look at what's happened. Look at how these politicians have fallen for this junk. Russian collusion. Give me a break. I'll tell you, the only collusion is the Democrats colluded with the Russians, and the Democrats colluded with lots of other people. Take a look at the intelligence agencies. And what about Comey? Do you watch him on the interviews? What about Comey? What about Comey? How about that? So Comey, how about this guy Comey? He said the other night, the fake, dirty dossier, he said the other night on Fox, he said very strongly, no, I didn't know that it was paid for by the Democrats and Hillary Clinton. He didn't know. He didn't know. How about that? They start something based on a document that was paid for by the DNC and Hillary Clinton. Honestly, folks, let me tell you, it's a disgrace. We got to get back down to business. It's a disgrace what's going on in our country. And they did that to Admiral Jackson. They are doing it to a lot of people. Innuendo. You know, in the old days when the newspapers used to write, they put names down. Today they say, sources have said that President Trump... Sources. They never say who the source is. They don't have sources. The sources don't exist in many cases. They don't have sources.
All right, so this is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. Okay, you got a guy who fights. Let me tell you, I think Bernie Sanders is a noble human being, very noble man. I think that he's done a great deal for this country. He's a noble man. He's an honorable man. He's a noble man, and I mean that. Not in a Shakespearean Julius Caesar way. Sometimes I'm like, oh, James Comey is an honorable man. No. This isn't like a Mark Antony eulogy type thing. God forbid. Bernie Sanders is an honorable man. And he's a good man. And he has a lot of good values. On the negative, he doesn't fight. The guy doesn't fight. He's like a salmon swimming uphill, like upstream. He doesn't fight. He doesn't want to rock the boat too much. This is a profanity alert for my 24-minute crowd. Trump says, fuck the boat, fuck the stream, fuck everything. Fuck the media. I'm the media. And he is the media. Now, he hasn't overstretched his boundaries, in my view. I'm not happy what his administration, Pompeo or Sessions, against WikiLeaks. I'm not happy about that. But I view that as playing ball with the deep state. He has to play ball. I'm not happy at all. If he ever overstepped his boundaries on that issue, I would withdraw my support. And if he ever got us entrenched into a quagmire, I would withdraw my support. But if he keeps going the way he's going, and there's peace between North and South Korea, and he keeps on dismantling the Democratic Party and the deep state and the media and completely winning against them every single chance, because you got to understand something. My origins, I started as a Bernie Sanders supporter. And the media went after Bernie, and now Trump is destroying the media. And plus, there's a lot of great things that Trump is doing. Give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Trump basically just blasts Comey, the media, and the Democratic Party. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so much for listening.